say to them, that's a will for over 200 years. And that's really important for Quebecers to be able to recognize themselves in a constitution that will protect, strengthen, and unite them. And with that bill, we will put like the equality of women and men as a collective right and also as a fundamental value. And we will put that up higher than the freedom of religion. We will not accept anymore in Quebec that a person that will require a public service and that will say for religious matters, I don't want to be served by a woman because she's a woman. That's the end of the game. We don't accept that in our Quebec society. We have so much fight for that equality. We will not tolerate that anymore. So that's a concrete things that the Constitution do. Also, we will protect the right of mourir dans la dignité. We'll protect French, secularism, collective right. It's things that are really concrete. We will protect also the autonomy of Quebec with a bill about autonomy of Quebec. So these are, and we will protect the right to abortion by putting a responsibility on the shoulder of the states, because that's clear in Quebec that we want to be sure that women will always have their freedom to choose. And in our society, there is no discussion about that. But that's really important for the Parliament of Quebec, for our nation, to say the choice of the woman is the choice of the woman.
We begin tonight here in Quebec, where Premier Francois Legault has tabled what he calls the law of all laws, a new provincial constitution. Now, it pulls together Quebec's language and secularism and other laws, including various rights, into one sweeping document. One sweeping document. And it's already stirring some national attention and conversation about it. And as you heard the Justice Minister who tabled the bill talking about it, they're really focusing on a few areas in particular. But there's one area that did not really seem to appear in there or any mention of it until reporters brought it up, and that is the age-old question here in Quebec. What about the protection of English-speaking rights?
Well, it's already the same clause that you already have in fundamental bills as Charte de la langue française, Bill 21, and also Bill on la loi sur l'intégration nationale.
But if you look at the constitution that the Quebec Liberals are proposing, they propose to entrench the rights of the English-speaking community to services in English, health and education services in English. Why wouldn't you word it that way to make it stronger?
Well, it's already in la loi sur les santé et services sociaux, and it's already in the Bill 101 about that, Bill 96, because I did that when I was Minister of French Language. So it's already there.
So is this a bold declaration of identity or mostly political theater? Let's break down what's really in this so-called Quebec Constitution and why it matters beyond the St. Lawrence. Eddie, it kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. I know the opposition parties in particular are not happy with the way that Legault and his party are handling this. For instance, the Liberal leader suggested that instead of tabling it and then having consultations, there should have been some discussion prior to putting together a draft and getting ideas and then coming back, putting the draft out in front and discussing it from there. To me, it's a move and an effort really to try and shore up the CAQ's polling numbers. They are tanking big time. And of course, Legault is staring down the barrel of a provincial election next year.
Mm-hmm.
And given his the way his polling numbers have been dropping like a rock, is a year going to be enough? And is this going to be enough to appease his base support, which, as you know, we've discussed on numerous occasions on this show, that base support is outside of the city of Montreal, basically in the rural areas of Quebec.
Yeah, you know what, Gary? I mean, I listened very carefully and I read about what they were proposing and tabling, and you know, putting yourself in the mind of our political leaders here in Quebec, I kind of understand what they're trying to do. Not that I agree with it. There's a difference. I understand what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, you know, the way this was suddenly thrust out there with very little consultation within Quebec's parliament, or very little consultation that you know, the citizens of Quebec were aware of. This was basically thrown out there and let's go for it. And you know what, you being from the Maritimes, Gary, I mean, I know that, you know, anytime anybody at the political level sneezes in Quebec, it was very quickly heard right across the Canada, especially when it talked about what? Language. Anytime you want to get the Quebec population motivated and listening, especially the bases that the Parti Québécois and CAQ completely depend upon, you want to raise awareness, just say the word language. You want to raise awareness within that base, that population outside metropolitan Quebec and Montreal. All you have to do is speaking about protecting Quebec's culture.
And the PQ is already and has been talking about another referendum. What was it, within 2 years of taking office? No later than 2 years. So they're already talking about that. And of course, if Legault wasn't doing anything along the line that he's doing right now, then more and more of that support would bleed from the CAQ over to the PQ, and it would be bye-bye Legault and company come next year.